Now then, how you doing? I hope you're well. In a watercolour landscape absolutely strewn with rocks, which should come first, the rocks or the grass? A watercolour painting is sometimes like a puzzle that has to be solved. There are no rules per se, but the medium works best when it's thought through, and a little bit of planning can make all the difference. Well, guess what? I found some more rocks. I love rocks, me. This time on the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path at St David's. Welcome to St David's, Britain's smallest city. Its magnificent 12th century cathedral marks the spot where some 600 years earlier St David chose to establish a monastery, and is considered today to be one of the great historic shrines of Christendom. Well, as cathedrals go, it never fails to impress and is as spectacular inside as it is out. Needless to say, it should be at the top of any visitor's list. It's always worth the effort. It's also free, although contributions towards its upkeep are encouraged. As much as I love the cathedral, it isn't at the top of my to-do list on this occasion. I'm headed out to the coast to walk along a short stretch of the Pembrokeshire Coastal Path to the most westerly point in Wales, St David's Head. There are, in fact, many notable locations along this stretch of coastline, none of which I'm going to be able to pronounce correctly. Strewn, which almost certainly isn't supposed to sound like that, is one such promontory. It translates into English as Ram's Nose. Well, as you can see, the weather conditions for our visit were very favourable, although you wouldn't have thought it the night before when the wind howled and rocked our camper van. This is a very exposed area. When it's like this, coastal walking feels like a treat indeed. And there is always lots to see, such as these wild Welsh mountain ponies. St David's Head is an absolute stunner. It looks out over White Sands Bay towards the nature reserve of Ramsay Island and is dominated by the small peak you see in the background, known as, I believe it's pronounced something like Cairn Llwyddi. Well, at least I tried. Speaking as someone who loves rocks, I felt like I'd died and gone to heaven. St David's Head is strewn with rocks of every size and shape. There are also several caves in the area and burial chambers. This dolmen is known as Arthur's Quoit, which dates from around 3000 BC, so it's been around a while then. And it has a Welsh name too, of course, but I think I'll stick with Arthur's Quoit. The coastline here is stunning, and I'll definitely be looking to paint those cliffs and the incoming waves at some point. Today though, I just keep coming back to the rock-strewn landscape of the small peninsula. Rocks are not everyone's cup of tea, but they make me very happy. I could have used just a single colour mix for this, and that would have been fine, but varying the colours I think makes it so much more visually interesting and, I suppose, more authentic. Green can be a troublesome colour to work with for lots of different reasons. My go-to mix for a basic green is either lemon yellow or cadmium yellow and Prussian blue. This gives me a fresh, usable, natural looking green, similar to sap green if you were to buy it off the shelf. Adding burnt umber, just a small amount at a time, gives it more of the look of olive green. I just want to sculpt the land a little, starting with that distant coastline. After all, there are cliffs and crinkly bits there. I don't want to bog the scene down with too many details, but I do think it's important to suggest a few additional contours here and there. Also, it enables me to break up the distant landscape, defining which sections are further away or closer to us. Another thing you'll notice me doing is softening off some of those brush marks with a damp brush, blending them into the surrounding wash so that they look integral to it, not too harsh. So, in a watercolour landscape absolutely strewn with rocks, which should come first? The rocks or the grass? To which the answer I think should be, it depends. It depends upon which element has the lighter tone of the two. If this was a snow scene, for example, then the rocks would almost certainly appear dark against the white of the snow. In that scenario, I would paint the rocks first. Here, the rocks appear light against the darker values of the ground visible between them. Leaving them as untouched highlights for as long as possible makes the best possible sense, in my opinion. want to add too much to this area, but I do need it to be slightly darker, particularly where the sea meets the top white edges of the rocks along the edge of the foreground area, as you can see here. Without that darker blue, the rocks were relying entirely upon the pencil line to define them. If I was to rub the pencil lines out, the rocks would largely disappear. By applying the darker blue to the sea, I can create the contrast that I'm looking for. Nothing too heavy, just enough to differentiate between the two elements. An added bonus of a footpath is that not only does it welcome the viewer into the scene, but it can be extended much further than you might imagine. This can generate a subliminal curiosity in the mind of the viewer, capturing their attention and then making them wonder where the pathway goes. It's a subtle trick, but it can work like a charm. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, then please do hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more, why not become a studio member of my YouTube channel? With that, you'll get instant access to the full-length, non-time-lapsed version of the demonstration from which this has just been a very small extract, along with a bursting back catalogue of full-length demonstrations and tutorials for you to enjoy at any time. To subscribe, just hit the join button. There are other sign-up options also available, such as my online tuition service. If you're interested in any of that, you'll find full details in the video description below. And that's me done. Until the next time, do take care.